Sure. Yeah. Our staff is all set. We have Sam Peraza, who we hired from San Diego State, has been there for the last 6 years and done a tremendous job with their pitching staff as well as recruiting coordinating. Has already stepped in and been a huge influence on what we're doing here, given our situation. And he's a very valuable piece to this thing and is tremendous. Mike Goff is our player development infield, outfield coach, kind of do it all, very knowledgeable, been in the game for 35 years professionally, as a manager, as a player development guy, infield, outfield, minor league infield coordinator, is tremendous at mapping out a schedule as far as has experience mapping out spring training schedules, which will help, this fall. But just a tremendous player development guy that is, who I know from experience because he worked with me up through the minor leagues for a lot of years. And I know what he brings to the table on that front. Bill Miller is our volunteer hitting coach. His background really needs no explanation, but he himself was a batting champion with the Boston Red Sox in 2004. Spent several years in the major leagues as a switch hitter, has been a hitting coach with the St. Louis Cardinals, Chicago Cubs, and more recently on the lower levels here locally at Hamilton High School, volunteering his time there. Obviously, I did my due diligence on him and had a ton of research and background on how great he works with the younger kids at the high school level. So he has the ability to come across well with not only high school level, but all the way up to the major league level as well. So he's already hard at work doing his research on pitchers that we're facing this year and all that stuff. So, and then lastly, Travis Buck is volunteering to be on staff here with us. Travis, again, himself is another big leaguer for a lot of years, a program guy that loves Arizona State, that is willing to just come back and be a volunteer on our staff. I think it's a tribute to what Arizona State means to him as well. And is excited to be part of something special in this building era. So that we're extremely excited to have him as well. So we're in the process of hiring a strength and conditioning coach as well. That should be hopefully wrapped up here shortly. We get that, obviously make that announcement as well. But other than that, we are moving forward in the right direction and excited to get this thing going.
All right, we'll go to questions now, and just a heads up, all these guys got to get out to recruiting, so we'll try and limit the time that we take from them. So with that said, Leo, go ahead, first question.
Hi, Willie. Now that you've kind of gotten a little bit more settled, I'm curious if you could kind of describe how you've been going about building relationships with some of the players and how the rest of the coaching staff has been doing that as well. Just like, what has that process been like so far?
Well, we've obviously had some hurdles here early on with a lot of things being thrown at me personally and the program, but we've done our best to stay in touch with most, if not all, the players. We've done a couple of Zoom meetings with everybody to kind of inform them of any major moves that have been made. Obviously with the new hires on our coaching staff, and just kind of give them an update on where we stand with things. But individually, we've had some good conversations. Sam has reached out to a lot of the pitchers. I've reached out to several, if not all, the position guys and talked with them. So that communication has been very good. I think there are some players already trickling back, and coming back and working out on their own here around the facilities, which has been great. And other than that, a lot of it as well has been with our future recruits, trying to stay in contact with them and let them know where they stand on the incoming stuff and being in touch with them as well. So a lot of phone calls. My ears are burning a little bit because being on the phone so much, but nonetheless, this is part of the earliest part of this journey.
Great.
Hey, Willie. Not that it's a necessity as a hitting coach, but as you mentioned, Bill is a switch hitter. How much of a luxury kind of is that for your hitting coach to be able to maybe not get in the box, but really relate to both sides of the box and all the hitters on the roster?
Well, I think that was, in trying to determine a hitting coach, that wasn't the end all be all, but it certainly adds just another feather in the hat that he can do and he's capable of doing. So He understands what it's like to be a left-handed hitter and a right-handed hitter, and what swing works on both sides of the plate, and what pitches, guys should be looking for in certain situations. I think that certainly is just another added value that he brings to the table, and let alone his personal experience at doing it at the highest level. It's just, he's going to be phenomenal with these guys. I'm really excited for the guys to work with him on a hitting department, and just mental approach, and all that stuff factors into how good he's going to be.
Michelle.
Hi, Willie. What was, obviously there are no holdovers from the previous staff. In compiling this staff, what were the most important attributes that you were looking for in collegiate coaches?
Trust, first and foremost, commitment to the program, wanting to be here. Those things are very important to me. Communication and experience, and knowing kind of all that together, develop what's going to be best for developing these young men that are here, and giving them the best opportunity for us as a program to win. Not only that, but to develop them to the point when they are finished with Arizona State, that they're able to go on and play after here, if that's what they choose to do. So also factoring into that is the ability to recruit, which Sam plays a huge part of that. And understanding the, obviously me being brand new to this, I'm still learning the recruiting game, but someone that has a lot of experience in that department, and been very successful at it. That was a big factor in bringing him in that I needed personally. And I think, but when you look at this entirety of the coaching staff, with the experience that we have, not only at the collegiate level, with all of us going through the collegiate ranks as players, but also the professional level and playing at the highest level and coaching at the highest level, the young men that are coming in here are going to get better, and they're going to learn how to play the game the right way and be taught properly. And to me, that's a big selling point of our program.
Jacob.
Hi, Willie. Just curious, as far as goals go in the immediate future, with the coaching staff rounded out and complete except for the strength and conditioning coach, what are some of the things that you're looking to accomplish in the coming weeks and months, just now that that's done?
Well, I think, we had an initial kind of doing this in phases. We look at our initial roster coming back. We just had the draft that changed things quite a bit with us on who we were expecting to have here and who's actually gonna end up on campus. And look at our immediate needs as this team coming in this year, with obviously being very thin going into it, but now being a little bit thinner with what the draft threw at us. But trying to fill those holes immediately in the transfer portal. We've been very hard at work there, as well as the 22 class coming in that is pretty thin as well, and trying to fill in the holes and kind of predict where we're going to be a year from now as well. So, and try to fill those holes in, all the while trying to look at the future and the 23 class as well. So there's a lot of factors, but we got to take this in phases. And the first order of business was to make sure we bring the right guys in on this, for this immediate roster, on who's available out there, and bring those type of guys in that can give us a good opportunity to win games this year and compete and hopefully do something special this year. I'm a guy that, and I think our whole staff would agree that, we're not coming in here to finish second. We're coming in here to try and put the right pieces in the place right now, to be very good this year and compete this year at the highest level. I don't deal with losing very well, and I don't anticipate that. I don't expect to lose. So I'm trying to get the right guys in right now. They're going to help us win. That's obviously challenging, but that's where we come and do our due diligence and talk to scouts that we know, people that have watched these guys pitch and play defense and whatever. It's a lot of work and a lot of phone calls, but this is something we're committed to bringing in the right type of guys that can help us win immediately.
Maria.
I just wanted to sort of follow up on your answer to Michelle's question when you talked about you really wanted to fill out the coaching staff with people who are really desiring to be at ASU, and what you think that desire and drive for ASU specifically will do for the program.
Well, I think you got to love where you're at, and be committed to a program that I feel is special. I love Arizona State, and I want people to. I don't view Arizona State as a stepping stone. I view Arizona State as one of the best programs in the country, And for me, I want people to feel that way when they come here and understand that this place is special and understand that this place needs no explanation based on our tradition and our history that we've had here. This place is awesome. And if you don't want to be here, by all means, don't be here. Go elsewhere, please. Because I've held our players to that standard. I'm going to hold our coaches to that standard, and I'm going to hold our trainers, our field crew, our equipment managers, everybody to the standpoint, if you don't want to be part of this, then go elsewhere, please. I'm asking you to go elsewhere because Arizona State's special. And this program, until we draw a line in the sand and realize that we are Arizona State and we're not taking a backseat to anybody, now we can move forward with the guys that want to be here. And that to me is a very big thing.
Jacob.
Willie, what has it been like for you just kind of to get the whole recruiting and the scholarship numbers, details, and all that kind of stuff down and to start learning about that? Just because I know that that's probably a challenging thing for a first-time college coach. So what's it been like for you?
It's been very challenging. And, especially given the change at, with JK leaving and hiring a new guy, that obviously put me back a little bit because I'm learning this, little baptism by fire. But I think in a lot of ways that was a good thing because it forced me to have to learn this real quick. And it's been kind of fun, to be honest. As stressful as it's been, it's kind of in a way, it's been a lot of fun to play GM in a sense and see how the whole roster is going to shape up and how much scholarship money we have left to spend and kind of it's a juggling act and see who we can get to fill in and what their desires are. So it's been challenging, but it actually has been a lot of fun in trying to find the right players at the right price tag to bring in. All that stuff has kind of been challenging, but fun. And learning the recruiting game, obviously it's what I'm learning is this is obviously a very vicious thing out there that you got to be on point and understand who you're going after and certainly make good impressions and keep things organized. I can't count how many names I've had thrown at me in the past couple weeks on, you got to go see this guy, got to go see that guy. Well, we're a 3-man staff that can actually go see all these players. So we can't blanket the whole entire country. This is obviously, we got to focus on our immediate needs and go from there. So it's been challenging, a lot of different factors, a lot of different variables, but on the flip side, I feel very confident that I'm picking it up very quickly. And this is something, as we move forward, I'll just continue to learn and get better at.
Take the last couple questions here. Michelle?
Yeah, Willie, you talked about how everything's new. What's been the most surprising thing? Is there anything that really it has really surprised you, either good or bad?
The amount of time I've spent on the phone is probably the most surprising. I knew this was going to be a lot of work. People that I know and trust that have been here and done this are like, man, you're taking on a giant. You understand that, right? And I said, yeah, I do. And I was prepared for it, but not this prepared as far as the amount of time I'm spending on the phone and the connections you have to make. And, all that it's been eye-opening, but I don't want to say that in a negative light. It's been great for me. But that's probably been the biggest surprising thing that I've had is, again, part of this is due to the change in staff with JK, leaving and having to make a change there. So that has just added to the amount of phone calls and people that are interested in coming in and filling this job as a pitching coach, recruiting coordinator. That really, the amount of phone calls that I received from that was really overwhelming. But nonetheless, now that we have our full staff in place, that has kind of settled down and I'm kind of catching my breath, which is good.
Last question, Jacob?
I know it's obviously early and, with the draft just happening, there were even more changes, but what would you say are some of the strengths of the roster that you have in front of you or may have in front of you? And what would you say some of the areas of weakness might be in your kind of immediate evaluation of it?
Well, I think obviously the position player experience coming back, and a lot of those guys played pretty much the whole year as freshmen. So when you look at the fact that most of all of them are returning except for Drew Swift, I think that's a big strength from an experience standpoint. And that's probably our strength going in, is the fact that we have most of our guys in our lineup that are returning. You know, obviously from a standpoint of where I think our immediate needs were, was obviously our pitching, you know, with having the injuries that we've had last year and having to fill in with guys that had to be pushed up in their roles a little bit. Not only that, but now the draft has happened and is quite frankly gutted a few of the guys that we were anticipating coming in and filling those starting roles. But we're very confident with the guys that are bringing in from the portal as well. So I don't want to say that that's a weakness, because I think we are going to be very, have a lot of arms that are capable. It's just a matter of who's going to rise up and take the bull by the horns and be our Friday night and Saturday night starters. You know, that's going to be healthy competition this fall as we go into things. You know, I do believe we are, you know, a little bit shy on left-handers right now, but that's something that we're going to attempt to address here in the near future. And if we can't, we feel we have enough right-handed arms that can have stuff in the repertoire to get left-handed hitters out as well. So weaknesses, you know, I think I don't want to say we have weaknesses, because these kids are very capable of doing good things. And I don't see it as a weakness. I see it as more opportunity than weakness.